Hi my darlings, I'm Sophie Darling and welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to episode 6 of series 2 of Apothecary Diaries, and in the last episode we got to see Jinshi as the Moon Princess, which I was so happy about. He looked absolutely stunning, glorious, beautiful, but it really took the envoys down a peg. Aileen and Isla didn't quite know what came over them when they saw Jinshi. I think they realized that their ego is a little too high and it got knocked down. I really want to learn more about what they're intending. I think they definitely want to become a consort, but the emperor can't take both of them. So I know one is obviously trying to gun for the prince, but they'll never meet the prince. So I don't know how logically that's going to work. I think one of them may become a consort, but if I had to pick, it's going to be the quieter of the two. I don't think it'll be the bold one. I think the bold one is Isla, the one with the red jewelry. Aileen is the one with the blue. Aileen seems to be the one that's actually sneaking out and meeting with the mysterious figure that I still think is Lolan's dad. But the one with the red jewelry, Isla, is the one that was almost affronting the other consorts and putting the emperor in a really awkward position by essentially demanding to be next to him. He's the one that approaches them, not the other way around. And they are obviously of some importance from where they come from, that he can't just outright insult them, but at the same time, it is really uncomfortable because he can't just do what they want him to do. He's an emperor, but it was just really uncomfortable and disrespectful to not only the emperor but the consorts as well, which is why I don't think the emperor would pick Isla to be a consort, because she's going to cause friction, whereas Island is a bit more quiet and kind of knows her place, but I still think she could be somewhat manipulative just because she is the one sneaking out. So maybe she's more of the mastermind, but we'll really have to wait and see. It's really kind of hard to gauge where the story is going or what their position is in relation to the emperor, or whether they're in on this plot to get rid of the prince, aka Jinshi, because that plot is still ongoing. Yeah, it's really difficult to gauge. We're not that far into series 2, so I imagine it's because we're being drip fed information similar to series 1, and that like the further we get into series 2, the more it begins to make sense and we'll be able to connect the dots a bit more. But without further ado, we're going to get into episode 6.
呼び出しですか？診療所の女官から？ええ、マオマオに会いたいそうよ。
Yes, she discovered about the
煎じ
medicine.
てもらった薬、ここで飲んでいけば
But
よか
how
ったん
is
だけ
this
ど、
going to play out?
昨日の女官に見られてしまって。
But she smelt it
以下以外
on
は
Mao
薬を作っ
Mao
てはいけないものね。申し訳あり
before
ま
she
せん。
even saw her take it.
お咎めがあるかしら。いえ、それはただしばしマオマオを貸してくれないかとのことです。マオマオ？
Okay.
アイラン、インファを呼んでちょうだい。え？はい。
I love that Kyoku isn't just going along with it. She's like, I want to know the full information first and foremost.
緑がかった目。玉葉様と同じ裁縫の生まれか？昨日は肝っ玉母ちゃんに見えたけど、落ち着いて話すと聡明な印象だな。
貴妃のところの方とはつゆ知らず。
いえ。
お呼び立てしたのは頼みたいことがあるからでして。
For what?
剣妃リファ妃の水晶球の下女に薬を作っていただきたいのです。
医官以外が薬を作っていると、もし表沙汰になったら
Mama could be killed
重
for
々
it.
承知しております。
But I don't think she'd ask if it wasn't serious.
すいません、話だけでも。
I think Mama respects her as a fellow woman that loves medicine.
キャラバンの時期から倦怠感や微熱が続いているようでした。一度しっかり休みを取るように言ったのです。ところがそれからばったり姿を見せず。
No, she's just gone.
あの席は一度見ておくべきです。
つまり診療所にも来てないと。
はい。上からのお許しが出なかったのかもしれま
That's
せん。
so weird.
水晶球の悪いところだ。 下女が許しを請う相手ならリファ様ではなく侍女頭だ。願い出たところで無視され
And
た可能
Shin's
性
a
が
bit of a
高い。
dickhead. Yeah, I don't like Shin. Not a bit of a dickhead. She is a dickhead.
妙な席か。もし感染するものなら放っておけない。
Do we get to see Mao Mao and Lady LIHUA again?
こうい
They
う
get to
の
have a little
気になる性
interaction
格
because
なの
it's
は
been a
わかるけ
while.
ど、ちゃんとお伺いは立てなさいね。突っ走るのは良くない癖よ。
I think this is all built into the premise that Mao Mao's going to step on the wrong feet at some point and somebody higher up with power and influence is going to try and bring her down. And it's just based on the previous episode where they're talking about gossip and rumor getting out of hand, but also now Mao Mao's even being warned by other ladies in waiting of get the right permissions. You have a habit of just running headlong into things, and even Jinshi was like, we make an exception. We overlook that you're making medicine, even though you shouldn't be, because only men can make medicine and only men can become eunuchs and only eunuchs can become doctors. So, yeah, I think this is sort of building to somebody having it out for Mao Mao as well. I know that somebody has it out for the Emperor and Jinshi, aka as the prince, not Jinshi the eunuch, but Jinshi the prince. I think somebody could be trying to also target Mao Mao at some point. Just everyone is doing their best to protect her as much as they can, and they're warning and giving her advice and guidance. But I think in the end, it's not going to matter. I think she's going to maybe accidentally do something to piss someone off, and they're going to find any reason to target her.
にょにょちょマウマウ
And a little lizard?
言ってるそばから。残念ながら本体には逃げられてしまいました。
Oh yeah, their
早
tails
く薬を作
detach
る
when
そ
they're
のために
asleep.
取れた
afraid.
尻尾がなぜ生えてくるか調べてみようと。
And then the tails grow back, like Mama's little finger grew back. Holy shit. Shin, you're an ass. If she's coughing up blood, it could be tuberculosis, which is very, very contagious and dangerous.
言ったわよね。余計なことはするなと。
申し訳ありません。申し訳ありません。
I think if Lady Lihua learns about the servant, she's not going to take this well.
先生
Shin's going to be in so much
今更
trouble.
何のよ東宮をお助けできなかったくせに。
剣妃に会いたいのだがね。
申し訳ありません。
You didn't even ask her.
あなたにはお会いしたくないと思わ
You're
れ
the
ます
head
が
lady in waiting, but you're not the lady of the house. Learn your
随分と
place.
背の高い。こんな女官いたかしら。
このように書状はもらっている。
わかりました。こちらへ。失礼ですが、リファ様はお元気ですよ。水晶宮の侍女は皆名家ので、帝に仕えるのにもふさわしいものばかりです。リファ様も皇族出身の高貴なお方ですから。
I think Shin is jealous of Lady Lihua. I think Shin wants to be in her position and she's envious that she's not. So now she's taking it out on everyone else and is overstepping her position as a head lady in waiting because Yokyu's head lady in waiting would never act like this, would never berate or belittle. She keeps everyone in line, but within reason, and she wouldn't just turn away a doctor's request to see Gyokyu without asking Gyokyu first. This woman is acting as if she is the head of the house, that she is the lady of the house. She's not. She is the head lady in waiting. She serves LIHUA. LIHUA is the head of the household. She makes the decisions. This shouldn't be a question. She should have asked Lady LIHUA if she wanted to meet with the doctor and then gone to refuse him, not outright going, oh, I don't think she'll want to see you. Goodbye. The fact that the only reason she's letting them in is because of Jinshi's letter of introduction. She can't refuse it. Can't refuse Jinshi's letter. But I think there has to be some jealousy between Shin and LIHUA, as in maybe Lady LIHUA got chosen over Shin. Maybe they are related somehow because they look very alike. They are quite similar in appearance. And everyone here has been raised in noble families. Everyone here is affluent. So it wouldn't shock me if they're perhaps related. Could be sisters, could be cousins, and that maybe the emperor chose LIHUA over Shin. That maybe they were both presented to the emperor as potential consorts, and he chose LIHUA over Shin, and she's never quite forgiven LIHUA for that, even though it's not LIHUA's fault. And now that she's in this position as head lady in waiting, she's abusing it, which would explain why she got rid of the flowers on the windowsill, which I'm dying on the hill was her that got rid of those flowers. And it's not because she knew what was in the letter, but I think she thought maybe it was a gift from the emperor to LIHUA and was jealous. And that's why she like dismissed it so that Lady LIHUA wouldn't receive it. But unknowingly, that was the catalyst for the prince dying because it contained the information that was necessary to saving him. I think she's jealous. I think there is some reason behind why she's so cantankerous. She was also really pissed at the idea that LIHUA could be pregnant again. There was that whole like really angry looking face and seeming to be really unhappy at the idea. And if that is your mistress, if that is someone that you serve and someone you're supposed to be loyal and close to, surely you would be happy for them. Like Gyoku's ladies in waiting were happy for her. You know? She's jealous of her. But why?
なのに
一族のためにも帝の寵愛を得ることが大切なのだ。わかったな、リファ。シン。
はい。
Are they sisters?
どうして
Mama heard the cough. But they were raised to receive the emperor's love. It was seen as this grand achievement that they've had from being young. And Shin is older than LIHUA.
そういえばあんなに浮気あったかしら。
今日はこうつけていらっしゃるんですね。
え？
シン様。
あなたあの時の。あ何よ
Mama's like, fuck you. I love that the quack doctor is an accomplice to Mao Mao. Oh, God, love her.
おじさん、お湯。どうしてこんな扱いを？
どうしたも何もないわ。病がうつらないよう病人を隔離するのは常識
You
で
know
しょ
there's other places to quarantine.
感染力は低いですが、これはうつる病です。でも、このような処置を続けていたら死に至ります。もちろん、下女一人の死など、些細な問題でしょうが。ここに入った時思い出しました。リファ妃が病に伏せていた時のことです。病人の匂いをごまかすように香が焚かれていました。
Maybe. Does she want LIHUA to die so then she could take LIHUA's place?
香の匂いをごまかすために病人が置かれているようだと。
待ちなさい。
先日禁止となったキャラバンの交易品がこんなに。またかわいそうな宦官がムチ打ちの刑にされてしまう。
動揺するな。
Like the makeup when it was hidden before.
一つ一つは小さな毒でも、それが混ざればどうなることか。
わかるはずがない。こんな小娘に。
She wants to get rid of LIHUA.
シン様、堕胎剤を作ろうなんて、どういうおつもりですか？
Because LIHUA's pregnant. I fucking knew it. She doesn't want LIHUA to have another baby because then she would be raised in the estimates of the emperor. Whereas if she can't get pregnant again, then her position's lowered even further. LIHUA. She's gonna be fucking pissed.
キャラバンの品には毒物になり得るものがあったため回収する。そう触れが出ていたはずだが。
黙秘ですか。人士様に問われてもこの態度とは。シン様、 水晶宮の次女頭でリファ様のいとこでもある。
I knew there had to be a connection.
美しい花は一箇所に集めた方が目を引く。身分で考えても中級妃に召し上げられておかしくない。本人もそれを分かっているはずだ。
禁止された交易品で何をしようとしていた？
何のことかわかりません。確かに
She wants to take LIHUA's position. If LIHUA can't have a baby,
ですが
then the Emperor's gonna lose interest in her and she'll be discarded. And then she thinks she can slip into that
それが
role.
罪になりますか？いきなりやってきてリファ様に合わせろと言った挙句、他の宮の物置を漁る方が問題では？これらが私のものである証拠でも？
それはあの場にいた下女に聞けばよいことだ。
熱に浮かされ朦朧としていた下女の発言をどこまで信頼できますか？
熱に浮かされていたことは知っているのですね。実にお優しい。わざわざはしための容体を見に来てくださるなんて。
Did she want her to die? So then nobody would know that the items were linked to her?
これ以上出過ぎてはいけない。分かっているが、腹の立つことはあるものだ。今日の神様はこの香油と同じ匂いがします。念のため確かめさせてもらえませんか？
薬や。
Oh, she drew
大したこ
blood.
とはありません。そうですね。私などが触れて良いわけがありません
Just
で
like
した。
little cat whiskers.
違う方に調べてもらいましょう。
その辺で私に任せてもらえないかしら。
Oh,
リファ妃。
この者の罪状はどうなるのでしょう。
仮に堕胎罪を作ろうとしたならば、帝の子を殺すのと同義です。
それは
execution.
どの妃の子であってもですか？
もちろん。
たとえ真の狙いが私であっても。
リファヒ、それは。
そういうことか。
She's pregnant.
リファ様の服、玉葉様が着ている服に似ている。
真、あなたは一度も私のことを妃扱いしてくれなかったわよね。国母としてふさわしくない、そう思っていたんでしょう。あなたと私、どちらが妃になるか最後までわからなかったものね。
何？上から目線で言って。
She is envious. She feels like she deserves it more.
昔から嫌いなのよ。勉強も作法も私の方ができた。他にもいっぱい。あなたよりも私の方が優れてるのに。
胸の大きさが、いや、妃としての器が違いすぎる。
She's more busty than you.
リファとシン、ナシとアンズ、揃えられたような名で生まれも教養もある。それでも感情に支配され間違いを犯す愚かな人間は5万といる。神様もまたそのような一人なのだろう。
私はずっと国母になるべき育ったのよ。
So was she.
子もなせず花園で枯れるといい。リファー
Oh, you sealed your death warrant.
帝をよほどお慕いしているのですね。
当たり前じゃない。何を言うの。
国母という立場を愛しているように見えましたので、リファ様と違って。
Which is why she wasn't chosen. Oh, LIHUA, she doesn't have it fucking easy, does she?
そんな風に思っていたのね、真。
Yes! Deserved.
この次女頭は主に暴言を吐きました。よってこの者を解雇します。
リファヒ、
She's saving her life because they're still
平手では足りま
cousins.
せんか？ではこちらで。
お待ちください。
待ちまし
She's
ょう。
like, I'll do more.
やるな。もう昔のリファ様じゃない。自分の玉の尾のついえるのを待つ儚げな女性はどこにもいない。
The baby's given her new purpose, reason to live and protect herself.
前処理だが、 この女には十分な屈辱だろう。
She's being far
逆恨みし
kinder
たと
than
ころで
Shin
終電で
deserves.
高級を追い出された身では手も足も出せない。
血が出ているぞ。
平気ですよ。薄皮一枚ですし。
そういう問題じゃない。
Oh, he worries about her so much.
なぜ病人が物置にいると分かった？変装していたくらいだし、最初から分かっていたわけではあるまい。
ある程度目星はつけてましたよ。病気なので皆の寝床から離れた目立たない場所だろうと。それと目印があったので誰かが選んで植えたのでしょう。風水では緑と白の組み合わせは健康にいいそうですから。
Oh, so somebody was doing it to try and help her in their own way.
種に詰まっている白い粉が堕胎剤にも使われるんです。
そこら中に生えてるぞ。
作り方さえ知らなければ害はありません。今日のこういう
Because even Shin was like, oh, is that bush new? Like, she didn't
神様は
recognize
な
it.
ぜこういうが堕胎剤になることを知っていたのでしょう。
She learnt it from
それ
somewhere.
もキャラバンが持ち込んだ交易品が。
Who told
問
her?
いただしたところで口を割るかどうかは分からん。この高級の中に香油が堕胎剤となることを吹き込んだ人物がいると。
Yeah, probably.
わかりません。ですが用心するに越したことはないかと。
Especially now we have 2 consorts that are pregnant.
お白い花。
物置にいた子どうなりました？
高級を
Oh,
出て治療を受けるそうです。リファ様の申し出だ。責任は自分にあるからと費用も負担するらしい。
oh, so she planted the bush. Her way of blessing her with good health and recovery.
あのクス氏が来ていたようだな。
はい、何でもご存知ですのね。彼女には助けられてばかりです。どうなさいました？
いや、
Hmm. I wonder what that look was about, where he's a bit like trying to suss potentially how he feels about Mao Mao being here. Maybe he feels like he needs to elevate Mao Mao further. I don't know. He definitely respects and admires Mao Mao and everything she's doing for the consorts and for his like unborn children, but yeah, that was a bit of an odd look, wasn't it? Unless it's just concern because he knows that somebody's working against him, but not just him, his unborn children and his consorts too. I love that we get to see the juxtaposition between LIHUA and Shin in terms of the way that Shin treats the servant and the way that LIHUA treats the servant are 2 completely different things. And even Mama had said before she even knew where the servant was that if Lady LIHUA had known, she would have taken care of her. So Lady LIHUA is a very compassionate, caring individual. She's very admirable and strong in her way. Whereas Shin is in love with the idea of power. She's in love with the idea of being in control. It's not the idea of being with the emperor, it's the idea of having the title, of being better than those around her. Her pride is so immense that she wants to be the best of the best. She wants everyone to envy her. She doesn't want to be the one envying others. And unfortunately, life played out that way, and she has to envy LIHUA, and she feels that she's better than her, that she studied longer, she was better behaved, she deserves it more, she wants it more, but she's not looking at why Lady LIHUA got it. LIHUA got it because she loves and serves the emperor. She got it because she knows her place, she knows her position, and she's willing to do that without complaint, without trying to step over others, without trying to bring others down. Whereas Shin couldn't do that. She would stop at nothing to become empress, whereas LIHUA was content to be in her position. She was content to love the emperor. She was content to be having his children. She didn't really aspire for anything more. If it happened, it happened. But it's the fact that her resentment and her anger towards her has led to her being manipulative to the point that she's actively trying to ensure that she loses her baby, especially after everything she's gone through, after knowing how devastated she was when she lost the prince. You would do that to her again. That's incredibly heartless and cruel, and LIHUA has so much more grace than I do, because I would offer her nothing but the worst. I'd be like, execute her, get rid of her. But LIHUA obviously understands that they're family and even says, what is the slap not enough of a punishment? I can do more, because she doesn't want to kill her because they are related. They did grow up together. There must be some love for her in that regards. But I don't think I could be as graceful and kind as LIHUA is. But again, also showing why the Emperor preferred LIHUA over Shin, because LIHUA is graceful, she is kind, she is elegant, she is everything that you would want in a consort. She's not jealous or spiteful or vengeful or full of malice for others. She is a very sweet and tender woman, and we got that from series 1, especially when she was stroking Mao Mao's hair in private after Mao Mao had like nursed her back to health. So I do love this side of her. We see her being more bold, more outspoken. She's not this frail woman anymore. And that's because she has a new lease of life. She has something worth protecting, which is the baby she's carrying. She has a reason to go on. Whereas in series 1, she was dejected and sad and lost because she had experienced the death of a child. I think anyone would be. So yeah, it is refreshing to see her take this more authoritative stance, because I know when Mama was saying, oh, well, then maybe someone else with the authority to put the hands on you will step in. We were expecting it to be Jinshi, but it wasn't Jinshi. It was Lady LIHUA. But I just can't believe anyone would want to inflict that suffering on her again. And this idea that Shin was the one that was lighting the incense to hide the smell of sickness, that's solely because she was hoping that people wouldn't know just how ill LIHUA was. And then LIHUA may die from that deterioration. LIHUA would have died if not for Mao Mao. And I think Shin was wanting that. I think Shin was hoping for it. Because in her mind, she probably thought, if LIHUA is gone, I can just slip seamlessly into her position. I can take what is rightfully mine. That's the arrogance that Shin has. She believes that LIHUA's position is hers by right, but it's not, because the Emperor bestowed it upon LIHUA. The only person that has the authority to bestow that privilege is the Emperor, and to think otherwise is akin to treason. And targeting LIHUA while pregnant, as Shinshi said, is akin to murdering the Emperor's child. Whether born or not, it's akin to murdering the Emperor's child. And again, LIHUA far kinder than I am, because I would have been like, execute her. But she just wanted her banished, wanted to get rid of her, but couldn't be the one to condemn her to death. And again, shows the type of woman that she is, the respect that she has for others, even if they show her no respect, the mercy that she's willing to grant, even though this woman granted her no mercy in turn, and even wished for her to die childless, told her that she hopes she rots on a childless bed. That is horrendous. That is awful. Shin deserved to die. Dying on that hill. Shin should have died, and I will accept no other outcome. But again, LIHUA's a better person than I am. But I had a feeling they had to be related, solely because it was like, this jealousy is too personal for them to not know each other beyond that. And then more the emphasis on them being all from noble families. Then I was like, oh, are they from the same noble family? And then that's why she's angry, because she feels like she deserves it more, because they were raised to love the Emperor and become the Emperor's consort, to be the Empress. You know, they've had that ingrained in their heads because they have been raised with this ambition in place. And yeah, she's pissed because she feels like she worked hard for it and didn't get it. But you know what? Envy will be the downfall of any person in this world. And that's why they tell you to be grateful for what you have, because envy can definitely cause you to do some spiteful things, and it'll be the downfall of you. So, you know, lesson learned: be happy for others and don't be envious and don't be jealous and don't plot to bring other people down. I love as well that Mama was being a bit more authoritative. I know she has to be really careful because she's being warned, like, you need to be careful with what you're doing because it could get you in trouble. But I think if she hadn't have pushed Shin, Shin wouldn't have openly confessed. She would have continued to beat around the bush and done this whole, well, it's just a servant, and who's going to believe a servant over me? I'm the head lady in waiting. And I think the reason she put the lady in waiting in the shed was, yes, to conceal the scent of the incense so that nobody discovered it, so that it couldn't be removed before she had a chance to make it into an abortion drug. But I think part of her was also hoping that the servant might die. And if the servant dies, then the only person that knew about the incense and her connection to the incense would no longer be there. So I think it's one that works two ways, that it's to cover the smell of the incense so nobody discovers it by using the scent of the sickness, but also getting rid of the only person that could witness it or witness her connection to it. I think they're both designed for the same purpose. It's to hide the smell and to get rid of a witness, but Shin is a horrible person. Kind of irks me that LIHUA didn't get to know that it was her that knocked the flower off the windowsill, but at least she got some comeuppance. She gets banished, she gets dismissed, she can never bring LIHUA any harm. She'll never be able to harm any of LIHUA's children again, whether on purpose or inadvertently. And what this might mean then is that LIHUA overhauls her ladies in waiting because, as it said, a lot of them were hired by Shin, and a lot of them were done for the reason of them serving Shin rather than LIHUA. But that's because they were scared of Shin. Shin ruled that place with an iron fist, but that's because Shin felt like it was hers by right, that it was owed to her, that it was not LIHUA's but her own home, which isn't the case. It's not the truth, but that was her arrogance, and her arrogance was her downfall. Because we also know that there was somewhere that the other servant could have gone. The servant could have gone to the same place that she was seen initially by the older woman that had looked after Lady Gyokyu. There is a quarantine there, and yes, the illness is contagious, but that's the whole point. So the willingness to not send her there, to keep her in that shed, is conspiring, is using the guise of, well, we were quarantining, as a way of hiding her true motives. LIHUA, far kinder than I am, and she's also gonna have a little baby. So we're gonna have two royal babies. I wonder if they'll switch it, that LIHUA has a girl and Gyokyu has a boy. But either way, it's going to be really nice that they both have babies. I hope nothing happens to LIHUA in terms of having a baby, because she really does deserve to be a mother. And I've said this so many times. If anyone deserves happiness, it's LIHUA. I love LIHUA and I love Gyokyu, and I want nothing but the best for the both of them. So I'm hoping nothing super serious happens, but I'm so glad we got to see a fierce LIHUA, and I'm glad that Shin has been dispelled from the place because it's deserved. But I think that's all I have to say for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye!